Hi, I'm Ashley from Forking Up, and this is my friend Jen.
Hi.
We are here to sample 4 of these lovely pumpkin flavored beers. I really like pumpkin beer.
When it comes to pumpkin, I can't.
We're kind of basic bitches. My personal favorite is this one. Not knowing what these other ones taste like, I just love it. It's really hard to find in Texas, so I had to drive all over town.
I've had the Shipyard and the Dogfishead. For pumpkin flavored, the Shipyard one is way more pumpkin-y.
Really?
The Dogfishead one is more subdued. It's an amber ale type of taste, and you can just tell there's a little bit of pumpkin in it.
I want to start with UFO. Oh, and we also have cinnamon sugar because cinnamon sugar rim on pumpkin spice beer is legit. I do think we should try them first without that. Taste for you.
Cheers.
Now you're supposed to taste beer like you taste wine. Smelling and swirling and seeing.
You could probably smell it.
It smells like beer.
Yeah. I can tell there's some sort of like fall spice in there.
It just smells like beer to me and it just tastes like beer to me.
All of their beers are so different.
Unfiltered pumpkin ale. Ale brewed with pumpkin and spices and with spices added. That sounds a little redundant. Brewed with pumpkin and spices and with spices added. I'm not tasting a lot. I love Harpoon. I grew up in Massachusetts, as did Jen. And the Harpoon Brewery is in Vermont and in Boston. I've taken the tour a bunch of times and I love all their stuff, but a little underwhelming, I think. Maybe we should try it with the cinnamon. Okay, it's a little better with that.
I think that brings out the pumpkin flavor just a little bit more, but it's still pretty underwhelming.
Yeah.
It's almost like the Dogfishead, but lighter. Maybe this beer's trying to complement a meal versus overpower it. Like, I think if you ate something with the Shipyard, it would be way too much.
Shipyard's almost like a dessert beer, and this is like a good drinkable beer. Let's do Blue Moon. Limited released harvest pumpkin ale, brewed with real pumpkin and spices. They also have Oktoberfest. Ooh.
That looks very orange.
Yeah, it's a bit deeper orange than the last beer.
You can see some cinnamon and sugar on this side, but this side is clean.
We're gonna sip from that side so as not to affect the flavor of the first tasting.
I'm having a hard time placing the taste.
It tastes like a squash. I don't know if I like squash in my beer. Well, the pumpkin's a squash, so I guess I do, but...
Or like a very unsweetened pumpkin.
Yeah, dude, that's not what you're supposed to do.
So if you've ever had a pumpkin seed or something, that's kind of what it tastes like.
Yeah, it tastes like the way the inside of a pumpkin smells. If you're into like more savory, I'm gonna take a sip from the cinnamon side. I almost feel like this would be a good beer to cook with. I love making beer bread because it's super easy. Yeah. Yep, still tastes like squash.
Yeah.
Not cinnamon squash. The UFO is like just a going out and drinking beer because it's really light. It's a good beer pong beer if you're into that. We're not into that, of course.
No.
We're real adults. Let's do the Shipyard. So this is my personal favorite. Ale with natural flavor added. So I wonder if that means it's not brewed with the flavors. Because this one says it's brewed with spices and then spices are added. So it means it's brewed with them and then they add them later. So it's probably going to be a more intense spice flavor. Ooh, this one's much lighter than the last ones. This is your typical like yellowy beer color. I think the smell test is just null and void now because of the cinnamon on the ridge.
Yeah, this one is way sweeter on its own.
I like it. So this one like just tastes like a raw pumpkin. This one tastes more like pumpkin pie.
Oh yeah.
Oh, a beer tastes like pie.
Especially if you're drinking it by itself.
And you're not just like pounding back like UFO.
I found a Pinterest recipe where you would open a bottle of Shipyard and then fill the neck of it with marshmallow vodka.
Oh.
And then, you tip it and you mix it a little bit. 1, it tastes just like pumpkin pie. 2, after 2 or 3, I was very, very drunk. So be very careful with that.
You can also add this.
Ooh, yeah.
It'll come out kind of tasting like a pumpkin pie or a dessert of some sort because Fireball is so sweet. My order of preference so far goes Shipyard, UFO, Blue Moon.
But I would say that if I were eating something with this, then UFO would probably be the one I would choose.
So I know with dessert wines, you don't want what you're eating to be less sweet than the wine you're drinking, because then wine tastes bitter. So I think the same kind of goes for beer.
I think you are correct.
All right, so finally we got pumpkin ale. Awesome, badass, like de las Muertas skull. I just said that so wrong. I'm so sorry. With a cat pumpkin, so that's cool. I love the art on Dogfish Head. It's always so cool.
And Dogfishead is one of those beers that comes in a 4-pack typically instead of a 6-pack, and it's just
as expensive.
Right.
Pumpkin ale is a full-body brown brewed with real pumpkin, brown sugar, allspice, cinnamon, and nutmeg. My opener has a magnet.
So this is more orange looking.
It is a little kind of deeper golden. Mm-hmm. Well, it definitely tastes like a brown ale.
Right.
I feel like it's almost the brown ale version of that. Of Pumpkinhead.
Definitely you don't get as much pumpkin flavor. The Pumpkinhead is definitely the sweetest out of the 4.
I can't really tell if it's sweeter or less sweet than Shipyard.
I think it's less sweet.
I think maybe just because I like lighter beer, I still might go with Shipyard. That still might be my favorite. But if you're a fan of brown ales, then maybe you should go with pumpkin. But I definitely dropped like $60 on individual beers that were flavored like pumpkin. So maybe we'll do another one. Yeah, if you are going for a lighter but deliciously pumpkin beer, go with Shipyard. If you're looking for more of a brown ale, Dogfish Head. And thank you so much for joining me and being my beer buddy.
Yay! Thank you for having me.
See you next time. Very well.